Hi there, it's Leanne with Outdoors and Country Living. What do you say we make a crock pot full of this hearty homemade potato soup made from scratch? Let's get started. Okay, here's all of our ingredients. We're going to need a crock pot. The size I will leave up to you to determine how many people you're going to feed. Celery and carrots. We like a protein source in our potato soup, so we are going to use freeze-dried ham pieces. We freeze-dried these ourselves. Salt, black pepper, dried parsley. These are potatoes that we grow, kind of the bottom of the barrel type of potatoes. 2 quarts of homemade chicken bone broth, some onions, and some garlic. Let's get started preparing this hearty potato soup. So you can prepare your ingredients in any fashion, any way. It doesn't have to be in this exact way that I'm showing you. So I'm just going to start prepping the vegetables. Cut your carrots into the size of pieces that you prefer. These carrots are pretty large, so I will be cutting the larger pieces in half or quarters. Again, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect or precise. Use your best judgment. And you can use however many carrots you would like. I just happen to have these 5 carrots left in a bag that I had in the refrigerator. No, we don't grow these carrots. I bought them. They are organic carrots, though. No specific amount. Get your creativity going. And I'm going to chop up the celery. This is the celery that I had left in the refrigerator, so I was just going to use it all. You can use a couple of stalks, or you can use a bunch like I am. Now we like to use the celery leaves. Again, that's personal preference. They're edible. I always use them. Be creative with the things that you cook. Prepare your onions. These are some onions that we grew. They're pretty small, so I'm going to use these 3. Chop them to your preference. Again, no set amount on the amount of vegetables that you use. It's all dependent upon how many people you're going to feed. So here's some fresh garlic cloves. I have had these cloves in my pantry for a little while, so they're not as crisp and fresh, a little more challenging to peel. I just like to loosen the skins by either smashing them with my hand, or you can use the blade of a knife if your hands are sensitive. Cut the end off where it attached to the bulb. Some pieces can hurt your hand, so I'm showing you how I can use the knife also. Just don't cut yourself. And peel that skin off of the garlic cloves, and then trim off the top. And I love this garlic press. We've had it for a long time, and you can press many cloves before you have to scrape it. And then just scrape that into your crock pot. Okay, now 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. I prefer pink Himalayan salt. I would use a natural salt. 1 tablespoon black pepper. This is my preference. Adjust it to your liking. And 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. And this is parsley that we grow here. Now add your potatoes. If they're not bite-sized already, cut them into your desired sizes. Again, these are potatoes that we grow in our garden. They are organic. There's nothing on them. We don't use any sprays or chemicals when we grow our food. And like I said, this is kind of like the bottom of the barrel type potatoes that are still usable, especially for soups. 2 quarts of chicken broth. This is chicken bone broth that we make, and it is seasoned. That's what you saw go in there at the last bit. 2 quarts of this. This is a very rich, hearty broth. In goes 1 to 2 cups of protein of your choice. This is freeze-dried ham. We've also used bacon. Then I'm just adding water to near the top of the crock pot. Cover it and turn it on high and go do something else. But look at that rich broth. That is some hearty nourishment. Crock pot's on high. We're going to put the lid on it. And we'll be back later. So it's been about an hour and the crock pot is getting hot. You can see it's starting to steam. It will continue to sit here and cook. So it's been a couple more hours. The vegetables are starting to soften. It's nice and hot now. I'm just mixing it well to make sure everything is cooking nicely. We're going to let this cook a few more hours. The ham has softened nicely. Potatoes are getting tender. All right, look at that boil. These vegetables have got to be soft now, so I'm going to use a manual potato masher. And we're just going to break these vegetables up a little bit, get those potatoes into smaller pieces to thicken the soup up. I'm not going to use any thickeners. I'm keeping this very simple. This step is optional. If you want to leave it larger, that's fine. Like I said, make it your own. That looks good. Very good. Now at this point you could add cream or milk if you want, but my husband can't tolerate dairy too well, so we don't put cream in it, or we're not going to for this video anyway. But there's your homemade hearty potato soup. And we made a fresh cornbread with fresh milled flour and cornmeal. And I had a couple of bananas that needed to be used up, so I made a banana bread today with fresh milled whole wheat flour, buttermilk cornbread, and potato soup. Yes, it's a lot of carbohydrates. We're not here to critique what we're eating. It's the last day of January. We live in Indiana. It's freezing cold outside and the ground is covered in snow. So yep, we're going to have a little comfort food today. So I'm just dishing up our potato soup so we can enjoy this hearty, comforting supper on a Saturday night. It will definitely fill our bellies and give us some good nourishment. I have been cooking for many years. I often don't use a specific recipe anymore. I just cook. So I've tried to provide you with measurements so you can replicate this soup. Again, it's going to change based on how many people you're going to feed, whether or not you want leftovers, things like that, and the things that you have on hand. This is just a simple soup that you can probably make with the things you have in your refrigerator and pantry. There's nothing like a home-cooked meal made with the highest quality ingredients that you either make yourself or that you buy from the store. Thanks for sticking around and seeing how we make this hearty homemade potato soup and a little extra cornbread and banana bread. Again, we mill our own fresh flour and cornmeal. The banana bread is made with raw honey instead of sugar. We do have a video on how I make this. I will link it in the description below. No judgment, please. Just some comfort food. Thanks for sticking around. Until next time, take care of yourself and may God bless you. We'll see you later.